Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Winging It F1 podcast, part British Grand Prix preview, part silly season extravaganza special, part Nigel morning for the Euros, which did not indeed come home. They went to Italy, which is very sad. Italy. But, you know, I still like Gareth Southgate, and I hope Saka's doing okay wherever he is. So, on that melancholic note, Nigel, Eeyore, how are you?
Eeyore.
Not good. There we go.
Oh, that's it. Oh,
we missed a chance.
Well, yeah, we always miss the chances though, which is why I haven't won them before.
Yeah, but we're not going to get that kind of chance again. But anyway,
it's coming.
It won't. We missed a chance.
We will. I do genuinely think it is. We will win in Qatar.
There were so many adverts
the last 4 weeks, but it didn't happen. So
there were so many adverts for Qatar Airways during the penalty shootout that I did just keep thinking about Qatar at that point. Just like, well,
we have to qualify first. Let's not get complacent.
Well, they're doing sprint qualifying for that as well.
Wait, who is in our qualifying group?
Oh my God. I don't know.
It's just
like qualifying group.
San Marino
football competition in a year and a half.
Yeah, but it's always like San Marino, Montenegro, and Scotland.
San Marino is in
We're
our
doing
group,
a podcast about a silly season for driver contracts that will have expired by the time that competition takes place.
England, Hungary, Albania, Poland, Andorra, San Marino. I'm not that worried.
I'm confident.
Yeah, we beat
for
Poland
San Marino,
March, I think. So, yeah. Anyway, can we please move on because I'm already quite upset.
Yeah, it's okay. Let's cheer him up, Adam. Let's get to it.
Well,
by the way, everyone, I'm
move
Freddie.
on by a Brit who may or may not have been in attendance, as Lando Norris was at the game, but I don't know if George Russell was. Prince George was, but he's not the same person. So, yeah, we're kind of looking at the silly season. It's not like when we did it last year and had basically the whole grid to fill in. This year, we're just kind of picking a few drivers and talking about what we think they'll do next season, but I guess also looking a bit more forward as well, a bit more into the future and kind of medium-term futures in F1, what we think they are. We're going to start with, as I said, George Russell, who there's been rumours that he will be announced as Mercedes second driver / other driver / a Mercedes driver for 2022. So I'll start with that. What do you both see happening? Do you think he will ascend to the Black Throne?
Yes, I think he will. I think he will be at Mercedes next year. There we go.
I agree. I think he'll be at Mercedes next year. It feels to me like all the speculation is about now whether it will be announced this weekend at Silverstone or whether it will be announced in the summer break. That seems to be what the speculation is about. Just Mercedes scheduling. Can't speak. Mercedes scheduling. George Russell's Mercedes scheduling dilemma. That's the title of the podcast.
There's going to be a lot of S's and H's and C's.
Yeah.
Do you think they will announce it this early? So I don't know. I can kind of see it going, considering we're only 9 races in.
August.
Yeah, I have reservations about it being this weekend, but it's just there's so many people who seem absolutely convinced who aren't people you wouldn't trust. They're people I would trust, like people who would have sources like journalists.
Nigel.
I wouldn't trust Nigel. But that's a whole different thing between us. But more like actual journalists, because he lives in the flat beneath me, so I'm not allowed to trust him.
Like, surely you do trust him.
I'm on the top
implicitly.
I'm next to you.
No, there's only one flat on the top of the building.
No. I swear,
Yes,
because when we went to check, we went up the steps.
You're both living in the same flat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my flat has stairs in it, going upstairs.
But you have to go up the steps to get to mine as well.
Well, I've got massive steps then, I guess.
Are we in the same flat?
I'm not going to discuss my address. Don't say the address. Make sure, because Nigel, you're the kind of person who would just say, "Oh, this address," and something that I then have to bleep out later. for all of the hate mail that they want to send to Adam, they have to forward it on through us because I have an address.
I mean, I'm not the one who called it. Is Ricardo the new Alex Albon, which has been the source of most
disliked
fury. Yeah,
the only troll we ever got.
But hey, if you do, go to New Bold Lane and like shout Freddie's name or something. I don't know.
And there we go. He said the street name. Goodness sake.
There's still several houses on it. But
wow,
yeah, for those who don't know,
houses.
For those who don't know, the context
if I get arrested, if I get like punched in the face next year, I'm actually going to come to America and like slap you in the face.
What, like the film?
That'd be really inefficient. It'd be much easier to just wait until I come back to England.
Oh no, as soon as it happens.
You take ages to. What visa will you get? Will you get like a media visa for that? Will you get like a tourist visa to go?
A media visa.
Is it a military visa? Do you have to technically declare war on America to do it? To go and assault someone who's on a visa in America? You need to go through like the consulate.
Is this going into the final thing? Right, go on, move on.
Yeah. For those who don't know, who will be every listener, I imagine the context is that Freddie and Nigel are living in different flats of the same house next year, and only just realised like last week when they've both had them signed for a few months at least. So yeah, I find that pretty funny.
Most of the year, 8 months I've had that contract signed for.
Probably similar with Nigel, and didn't know you were living together, but I won't be. I'll be in Oklahoma.
But I think George Russell. See, I don't know why they would announce. Like, there's a whole kind of the cynic in me thinks, well, they would announce Lewis in Austria so they could announce George in Silverstone because it seems the best thing to do would be announce Lewis in Silverstone in the first place. So I kind of think they're building up to it. But then also I think, well, why not just wait till the summer break? What's the point in doing it at Silverstone? It doesn't really matter. But then I am an hour with myself on that. I would like it to be announced at Silverstone. I think it would be cool if he then goes to like a fan stage with full capacity, and then they go, George, well done on your new contract, and everyone gives him a massive cheer. I think that would be cool.
Then he's like, "What? I've got a new contract. I didn't know that. Where is it?" No,
you're saying it, Williams.
I don't see the benefit of waiting until the summer break, though.
Exactly.
Like, I think to me, I think it would be, to me, it either seems like it would be Silverstone or kind of much later in like September or October, because, I guess we are only 9-10 races into the season. And I guess that's the only thing. I think like if you're going to, but I don't know. It just, if they don't announce it at Silverstone, I'd be surprised if they announced it in the summer break. I'll put it that way.
As long as it happens for Russell, then I'm sure he won't really care when it's announced. Because I think he's known for a long time anyway that he's going to be there.
But on that,
he's been so coy about it, hasn't he? And it seems to have given like a little snide remark after every interview, just like, "Oh, good things are coming. Oh, I don't mind if I didn't get points. I'll get some next year." I'm paraphrasing everything he said because I can't remember all his interviews, but he definitely did an Instagram post over the weekend where he's cleaning a Mercedes and says, "Look after the things you love," and we're just like, "Oh, either he's the biggest suck up trying to get the seat, or he's already got it and he's just being like to everybody." He knows.
So on that, what do you think, like, as a percentage chance, how certain are you that he will sign there?
98.5.
66%.
Really?
Yes, because F1 teams inherently aren't that risky sometimes.
See, that's
particularly with young drivers.
Yeah, see, I'd been thinking similar, to be honest. I was thinking like 60% or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe 60% not quite there. So yeah, probably like 2/3, 66%.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Right. It feels twice as likely that he will sign as Bottas will, effectively.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, and if that does happen, then that leaves Bottas out on the street jobless, and Williams without a driver to partners Nicholas Latifi. So Nigel, you don't think it'll be Bottas, do you?
No, I don't.
I was hoping you'd expand on that, but who do you think it'll be?
Sorry, I should stop being a right arse. I think Bottas in 2022 will be at Alfa Romeo. I think.
Oh, that's a hell of a shout.
I think Bottas alongside not Raikkonen. I think Raikkonen.
Imagine if it's Raikkonen.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure who he will be alongside, but I think that's where Bottas will be.
Interesting. We were going to be discussing Alfa Romeo later on, so we can discuss his teammate in a bit, I think. Oh, I don't know. With the Bottas conundrum, I mean, it feels like if there's any driver that we would be welcomed into Williams with open arms, it would be Valtteri Bottas. Because he was from their junior academy. He led that team to third place in the constructors twice, and to quite a few podiums, to be honest. And if there's any team that would happily welcome him back, I guess it would be that team. But I don't know. There has been, there's been a regime change there since he was last there, obviously. But I don't know. Would you take a winning driver over a junior driver? Probably.
Nigel, what is your kind of logic for placing him at Alfa Romeo, or is there any logic, or do you think it's a hunt?
Good question.
I don't really have much logic to that, really. I don't think he'll go back to Williams. I just think Alfa Romeo. I think they're gonna There's talk about them going back to Sauber, but I think they're gonna stay as Alfa Romeo with kind of manufacturer backing. I think they'll want a winning driver. In fact, thinking about it more, I think they're going to change the whole driver lineup. But yeah, it's not a guess. It's just a hunch.
Is a hunch not a guess inherently?
I don't know. I just don't see him at Williams. I don't see him off the grid. So it kind of leaves me with that, really.
Do you think he would turn down Williams? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. I can understand that. What do you think?
I don't normally know. I think the main issue is I do too much of it. The main issue kind of seems to be that, like, those are the two extremes. That you've got Alpine are all booked up. Red Bull seem to be in a pretty comfortable position. Aston are, because they've got Seb locked down, and Lance Stroll's seat is technically available, but I'd be very surprised if Lance Stroll wasn't in it. Ferrari obviously got both of their drivers in. So it kind of then boils down to, like the teams at the back of the pack and Hats have got Mazepin and Schumacher under contract anyway. So they're just kind of, there's no one in the mid-pack really that he can go to, which is then why you kind of end up with, I feel like it's going to be a big fall from grace or whatever, because he's either going to be off the grid or in the back marker.
Adam, I know you've been a big...
Go on.
I was just going to say to Adam, I know you've been a big believer of Bottas being the perfect driver at Red Bull for the past few years. Do you think Red Bull, if they've got a choice between Perez and Bottas, I think they'd stick with Perez? Do you reckon they'd snap up Bottas? Or do you think it's a like-for-like match, so there's not much point?
Yeah, I think take Perez. Like, based off what he's done this season, I think I'm probably more sure of that than Russell going to Mercedes and ousting Bottas in the first place, really. I don't see what there would be to gain out of taking Bottas over Perez when Perez has been so strong so far, unless you like punch his helmet Marco or something. But, it'd be great on Drive to Survive. But
I'm quite sure Bottas. I'm quite sure Bottas will be on the grid, because I think the amount of times drivers say, "Oh, why don't you go to Formula E or IndyCar and then you can win races there and stuff?" But we see with these top drivers, they like to just stay with F1. They're kind of a bit like Hulkenberg, even though you might not be in a winning car. There's something about F1, whether it's the money or whatever, and he just kind of stay there. And I think Bottas has done more than enough that someone or some team will take him up.
I think it's because for most of these drivers, it's kind of what they've grown up following, and it's kind of that's
it's the dream, isn't
it? Yeah,
exactly.
I think if there wasn't such a lockdown situation in Haas, they're both the multi-year deals, Schumacher and Mazepin. I kind of think Haas would really benefit from someone like Bottas out of the team. I mean, obviously he's got a higher market fee than they could hope for, but with so much funding coming from Dimitri Mazepin, I wouldn't be surprised if he would put money into that team to get someone like Bottas there. But I don't know. That's my hunch for it, but I don't think it will happen. So it's not a hunch. It's a working theory.
But also, if you were Bottas, like, surely Haas would be the kind of your least favoured team based off what we've.
It's the worst time to be looking for a team, isn't it? Because 2022 just could be completely awful or completely brilliant or just completely mediocre. You have no idea what's going to happen. And budget cap has just made that even more ridiculous. So who knows? But it really would just determine a team's intention if they want Bottas. And I don't think he's a bad driver to choose. I think in any team apart from Mercedes, he would be performing fantastically just because he's up against Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah. Maybe Red Bull as well, actually. But
and maybe Alpine.
That's like, I don't know. I think he's performing very well at Alpine. But anyway.
Sorry. I'm just kidding.
That's what 50 people. Nigel's aggressively attacked this podcast already, like the entire like Italian national team, Esteban Ocon.
That's 12
and subs and trainers and Roberto Mancini.
Are you counting each individual trainer or counting a pair as one?
Oh, pair. But like
apples, bananas, passion fruits.
I like a passion fruit.
Oh, sounds like a Tinder bio. Moving on.
My Tinder bio is I like F1, so prepare to be bored. And I think it's quite good.
That would work really well if you worked for a tunnelling company.
A tunnelling company?
Yeah, that's what it's boring the hole.
Oh. I mean, I'm not a mole.
Neither people who work for tunnelling companies.
There goes our whole audience.
When they did the English channel, they just have a crew of moles working on it.
Famously, French moles and English moles really don't get on.
The English made it further when they did the channel because of geological difficulties. So French were tunnelling through harder rock or boring through harder rock. Anyway, we're getting slightly off topic, which is probably going to happen a lot this episode.
It's already happened too much this episode.
Yes. So, Freddie, where do you think Bottas will be next season?
Williams.
And Nigel, you think Alpha? I think he could.
Aston Martin development role. No, I've changed my mind. He's going to be an Aston Martin development driver.
I was about to say, I think he could be out. I think he could take a year out, but equally he could be in Williams. I'll go Williams. Why not? If he does, what do you think of that lineup from Williams? Because it's it doesn't feel like there's much room for growth in that you've got Latifi, who's a young driver, but not that young by young driver standards, and kind of hasn't kind of shown much development over his time. And then you've got Bottas, who seems to be kind of plateauing in his career, but it's still
a great lineup. I think that's a very good lineup personally. If that happened, yeah.
You've got funding from one driver. If Latifi stays, you don't know about that, but if he's got funding from Latifi, and you've got intellectual mind from Bottas that has come from the world champion team, a world championship winning team. We don't know what's going to happen this year. Maybe Red Bull will be the champion team, but you've got that intelligence coming from Bottas. It can't be too poor to have that level of recent knowledge.
I think I'd put that on a level with Aston Martin this year. I think. And put that.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah,
which is,
you don't need to rank it like that. I don't think we can just see if it happens. And I think, as a swaps seems to work quite well anyway, just logistically. And like you got like what Kovalainen and Alonso back in 2007 and 8 and that kind of thing. Just that kind of move.
Kovalainen was fantastic.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he was good at Renault. He left. So maybe Bottas would be fantastic at Williams. But who knows? I think there's not really much more to say, is there? Is it kind of like Bottas is decent? He would be positive to any team he probably is picked up by, if he's picked up by a team, because of what he can bring, which is, to be fair, a lot of speed.
Yeah. Not the jug. I'll just point that out. Moving on, since Nigel mentioned them, to Alfa Romeo. They're in a really weird position. I think last season I predicted that they'd change both their drivers. Probably
why they haven't is ridiculous, because both drivers are pretty average at best. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking when that happened. And if they do it again, like, I will literally lose my marbles.
You what? You're not mad?
No.
You'll have to gather them all at first, like put them back in and then lose them again.
I actually have some marbles on the floor at the moment that I dropped the other day. Yeah, there we go.
So yeah, what was your question? Who's going to be at Alpha?
Audio, fundamentally.
I think Bottas and Porsche.
Ooh, that's a very interesting lineup.
That is a fantastic lineup if that happened.
I think Porsche is going to beat the ILOT train of Twitter.
Yeah.
But I am really biased towards Porsche, so yeah.
Why? Just general liking of him?
Yeah.
He likes the hair.
I can't remember what he looks like.
Tell you, Porsche hair. Yeah, I think.
He had pink hair for a bit.
How's he doing for Super? Actually, he should be fine, shouldn't he? Because he did well last year.
Second F3 last year. There's a long way to go in the season. So.
Long way to go in F2. And he's broken his wrist. So who knows? But
yeah, but he's racing at Silverstone, so.
Well, yeah. Gaps between the races, you can break.
Yeah, we don't talk about that, or else I will get really angry.
Go on. Just let yourself go.
Well, we're moving on to sprint qualifying later, Nigel. Keep it involved until we get there. And also, I'm going to do it. There's a quiz between you and Adam, which is also going to be basically pot luck. So I think you're going to really enjoy that. Alfa Romeo. I'll give my opinion on Alfa Romeo before Nigel shoots someone. But, well, Bottas and Porsche seems like a really fantastic lineup to have, but it seems also like quite an unrealistic one in my mind.
Yeah, I agree.
I kind of feel like because they've stuck to their guns on average lineups over the years. Ericsson was there however long. Nasser was there for a bit. They kept Gutierrez for a second year back in the day, did Sauber. So they're really...
They have Sutil and Gutierrez.
Yeah, exactly.
They did.
2014.
Yeah.
So they seem to love an average lineup. So I kind of feel like if they're going to bring in a rookie, they'll bring in one who sort of everyone's saying is just, he's there, he's hanging around. He's around the block.
Would suit that role perfectly.
Exactly. You cut off my big introduction. I was going to say, Kalamila.
I heard the word average, so I had to jump in.
Yeah, well, I was getting there. But Kalamila is going to be in that seat, I think, alongside a returning Antonio Giovinazzi.
Oh.
Sorry, Nigel. I'll buy you
super license.
An Italian, really.
The super license you can get over 3 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. So Porsche basically needs 3 points.
Who's Adam going to sign? Okay.
Oh no, I was just updating on that. That Porsche needs 3 points, which is a top 10 finish.
Jean-Eric Verne is going to be driving for Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, he didn't have a good race in the Formula E, unless I was watching a repeat, which is also possible.
I watched it, Adam. So thanks.
Well, he didn't start.
There were two races, so Adam's potentially right and potentially wrong.
I've seen the first one.
That's true.
The second one.
Well, then you know that he came second in the first one. So that's a good race.
Yeah.
Well, it must have been the second one I saw. It's also like, why didn't they do it in like New York? Like, why did they just do it in an industrial estate?
A, cheaper. B, can actually happen there. C, you've got the skyline.
You cut out for me for the A and B points. So, but
I didn't cut out for me, so it's fine.
Well, that's fine. We will be in ignorance of each other's.
B, it's actually got the space to do it. And C, you've got the skyline of New York and that kind of thing. And shutting down New York is never going to happen.
Well,
realism.
What we live in.
Yeah.
Anyway,
a real one.
I've got to figure out my lineup.
Yeah, I know. You've procrastinated enough by trying to figure out Corchair's super license points. I mean, you're going to have to say Wammer or Correa, aren't you? Bonucci.
Sorry.
Chiellini and Bonucci. They wouldn't fit. They'd have to make the car.
But they're not attacking drivers. They're too defensive.
Right,
I can genuinely see. I guess it depends if they stay as
average.
Alpha. Although no, because won't Ferrari have a? Well, Ferrari can activate a seat anyway, can't they? They can keep
activate Schwartzman.
Yeah. I can see Giovinazzi and Raikkonen again. I'm not even going to lie.
Oh, no.
I can see it. I genuinely can. I'm saying Callum Island more out of hope, to be honest.
Yeah. Who was your other one?
Giovinazzi.
Okay. Wow.
I couldn't say Bottas because he's going to Williams. No, he's not. He's going to Aston Martin as a development role.
Equally, I hope for the hybrid option of Bottas and Raikkonen.
So do you guys hear me out? Do you guys think Latifi is a good idea for Alfa Romeo?
No.
Okay. No, neither do I. No.
Okay. Well, that was quick.
What about Alfonso Celis Jr.?
Well, we've done about half an hour.
What happened to him? Nico Hulkenberg. He's a guy who's on the sidelines.
Oh, yeah.
He's been apparently he's actually been rumoured for the Williams seat. As has Kvyat, which is an interesting one. I think Kvyat would be a good one for Alfa Romeo.
Would you take Hulkenberg over Bottas though? I would.
No.
I wouldn't. Well, I don't know. Hulkenberg would be cheaper.
That's true. They've got a budget cap anyway.
As two salary drivers, Hulkenberg will be a cheaper one because he's not 10th on the all-time podium list like Bottas is. He's not on it.
Last on the all-time podium list.
Yes, exactly.
Wait, did Suttel get a podium?
No, Suttel didn't get a podium, but Nico Hulkenberg did more races without a podium than Suttel. So that's why he's behind Suttel on that list.
Yeah, I think they're two interesting shouts, actually. You kind of forget the drivers, especially this year more than any other. You kind of forget the drivers that are out. Out of the two, then, Hulkenberg and Kvyat, which he has more of a chance of getting onto the grid?
Oh, Kvyat. He's like a bad penny, isn't he? He's rejoined the F1 grid like 40 times. It's bonkers. Like, he keeps getting other chances. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets another chance.
Are pennies back?
He deserves it more. He deserves it more than Albon.
Goodness sake, Nigel.
I disagree with that statement. Why?
Kvyat's only got one more podium than Albon in his career.
Yeah, why does he deserve it more than Albon?
Oh, no, I meant in the past.
Well, no, but now we're talking about this silly season.
Yeah, now.
Oh, no, yeah, Albon could return. It wouldn't surprise me if he did.
Yeah,
I'd love it if it happened.
That's nice. That's a good positive note to move on to the next discussion point of this podcast.
Is it, or is it just Nigel would be glad it happens so that he gets another year of slandering Alex Albon?
Nigel will carry on in this mood that he's in now if Alex Albon comes back, and he won't ever change. That's the thing. It's like, Alex Albon. Give two fingers up to the sky to say, goodness sake, God, why have you allowed this to happen again? I quite like him. I think he's a nice guy.
I do as well, yeah.
I was talking about
you. Well, seeing as we're on this topic, Alpha Tauri, the other Alpha, the only other team, along with Alfa Romeo, who haven't.
There are tons of teams on the grid.
Either of their drivers yet. So, do we think that there's going to be a change there? If so, what change? Where? What do you both see in that area?
I see no change at Alpha Tauri.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
so Gasly's too good to let go, and everything they say about Yuki Tsunoda is, oh, he'll be good in 6 years' time, so let's keep him.
He will.
Yeah, he probably will. So it's fair enough. So that's, I think, I don't see any difference to that. And also, for a team that's so built on marketing, Gasly and Tsunoda have been so fantastic in that team's marketing. Like, you always are seeing like Gasly and Tsunoda in little videos and stuff. I don't know if you guys have seen the TikToks they share on Twitter, and Instagram. And TikTok, but you guys don't do that. But like, they share them all over the place, and they actually get Pierre and Yuki to do them, and it's fantastic. And I think from a marketing perspective, Yuki and Pierre are two fantastic drivers to keep.
Yes,
and Giovinazzi and Kimi Räikkönen marketing wise.
And obviously Tsunoda's got the Japanese aspect for marketing potential there.
More sushi, which is good.
But another untapped market for F1 is Estonia, which they would be able to tap into if Jüri Vips came in. And he's probably the highest ranked Red Bull Junior.
Lawson, surely.
I think Lawson superseded him. I agree.
Every day of the week.
Monday, Tuesday.
Every day of the week, I'd have Lawson over. Lawson has been mighty. Probably the most impressive driver in F2 this year for me, I'd say.
Saturday, Sunday.
Freddie still just naming days of the week. Okay.
I've run out of days of the week. Well, I can't think of any more. There's only 7. Can't think of an 8th.
I mean,
Christmas Day.
Flying. I mean, you see more of F2 than I do, but he's flying high in the championship, and he's won the last 2 races. But
I think what makes Liam sort of stand out to, I think, Nigel and I, is that he's done it all in. He's done it in the alliteration.
Makes it easier to remember. I will die on that hill. That is a motor racing hill that I will die on. The fact that more people remember Liam Lawson because of his alliteration than most.
Yeah, but no one remembers Scott Speed.
I do.
Yeah, fair enough.
You clearly do as well.
Yeah, not for the right reasons.
No, the wrong. It's wrong reasons, and the wrong reasons are his name is an alliteration.
Oh, I remember because he's a horrible guy. I think.
That's what you think. Anyway, you had a point to this.
Yeah, well, Lawson has done everything in his rookie season. In F3, it was his rookie season. He was winning races and fighting very well with the top drivers of that championship, and it's the same in Formula 2. So why not look at that and think, well, this is the reason we liked Yuki, so why not? Why hesitate on Liam Lawson? Jüri Vips has been messed around a bit, to be fair, but yeah.
For me, you won at Monaco in the wet, which was extraordinary, only to get the scorecard, which was pretty stupid again. So I think that's when he really stood out. And also the first weekend in Bahrain, he was excellent too. And we know how difficult that track is with the tyres and stuff. So for a rookie to be thrown in, first race, limited testing, 45 minutes of practice, I think that says quite a lot about how good he is. And as Freddie said, in his rookie seasons, to be doing that in F3 and F2, that's what makes you stand out as a junior. I think he's done that more than Vips for me.
Yeah, I mean, when I said the standout or the kind of foremost Red Bull driver, I was saying that because of his position in the championship rather than kind of an opinion on either of them. But yeah,
I mean, what his name stands for, which is a very important person.
He's got a Lawson's got his super license too, and I don't think Vips has. Could be wrong.
I don't know. Well, Vips basically had a year just sort of milling around doing nothing last year because he couldn't get to Japan to do Super Formula. So he sort of stepped in for a bit and other things, Formula Euro Cup or whatever, and Formula 2. So Vips is on a mission this year, and he is doing a good job. You're right. His Baku performance was fantastic, but so Liam Lawson's been good all over the place, and yeah, I think if it comes to that, there is a headache later down the line with Vips and Lawson, but I think we can wait till 2023 for that.
Need a third junior team in F1 or sister team.
We need lots of teams in F1, but that's a whole different debate.
Yeah.
Yes, and like we said with Estonia, a massive market there down in New Zealand that Lawson would help capture. When was the last Kiwi driver in F1?
Brendan Hartley.
Oh, yes.
Not long ago.
Yeah. I've completely forgotten about him, which probably says all you need to know. So on both of those two, what do you think their kind of chances are? Do you think that it seems most likely that they'll stay another year in F2?
Just sidelines for a bit, really, I think. Yeah. Chipping away at maybe having a seat, but that's all I can really see with it.
There's such a long way to go in F2 that I can't really give you an answer because it's going to be another 4 or 5 months, I reckon, and we still won't know who's going to be in AlphaTauri, perhaps, or whether Lawson or Vips or whatever have got a seat. So I just think it's a bit cliche, but I think it's too early days, I think.
Yeah, very early days.
Cliche. That's good. I was trying to find a cliche and chew pun for Nigel's name, and I found it. As a wider point, Nigel gives a thumbs up to the camera. As a wider point, Pierre Gasly, where do you see him more long term? Freddie, you're going to have to answer this because Nigel's on mute. Where do you see Pierre Gasly kind of longer term? Because kind of it doesn't seem like he's got a future at Red Bull, but equally AlphaTauri, especially now with this rebrand, they seem to be functioning a bit more as a separate team, and that's combined with pushing into the midfield more this year.
Well, you've answered you've given my answer there with AlphaTauri. You've answered my question. No, you've answered your answer towards myself. Me was going to discuss and say that the reasons of AlphaTauri being a separate team. So I agree with what you were saying on AlphaTauri, basically rebranding itself and becoming a separate team. I think in future years, they're going to be allowed to sort of run, hopefully, in more of a concurrent nature to Red Bull than they have been in the past. By this budget cap is going to essentially mean Red Bull are going to have 2 teams running on similar budgets, which isn't a bad thing. And I don't see any driver better than Pierre Gasly to lead that team for the next couple of years, to be honest.
Yeah, I think my answer for that is, again, I don't know. It depends on what the pecking order is next year. It really does.
You're going to really like the quiz, Nigel, when you don't know anything.
Maybe that is the answer, though. That's the only true answer. Is that
that'd be the tie break. What does Nigel know?
If you think about Gasly, he could end up at literally any team on the grid, I think. In 2 or 3 years, he could be at any of these 10 teams, I think. That's what I think.
So Red Bull.
I genuinely think Red Bull's probably the only one that you can make a case for.
Which is interesting because it's also the one that would be the one you could probably make the most case for because of just the contractual position and so on. But that's just the Red Bull Gasly situation.
I think he's
situation.
No, we can play that jingle next time we talk about him as well. I don't know. He's probably at AlphaTauri at the right time for this situation. Though I think if it'd been a few years back, then he might have been shuffled out a bit quicker. But we don't know. As Nigel said, we do not know. Anyone else you want to talk about, or anything else you want to talk about, not relating to the British Grand Prix?
I don't have anything else to say. I would say actually maybe, I don't know, Robert Schwartzman was going to be touted a lot this year, but we haven't seen anything with that. And maybe the ship has sailed on that for the Ferrari Junior Academy for Robert Schwartzman, but who knows? There's a nice little sentence for you of a thing.
The only other thing I've got to say is as the F2 season goes on, there'll be a lot of people saying, "Oh, they should get this person in who's just won the race, or the person who's leading the championship, or you should be in." No, they shouldn't. None of them are good enough, apart from two or three of the drivers on the grid. It's not going to happen. Rule changes next year. Probably only one driver at best, maybe two, will get from F2 will be on the grid next year.
Do you not want to do a silly season podcast, Nigel?
This is.
Should have told us 2 hours ago.
Yeah. We could have made it all about sprint races. You'd have loved that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
I'm just being realistic. I mean, look how many drivers get promoted over like the last 20 years. You know.
I think last season kind of has damaged that as well, because what do we get 3 up this year?
Yeah,
I feel like we got 3 up in 2019.
Yeah,
as well.
But it's by that very nature, if there's just kind of not those spots, and those 3 up as well. There's Tsunoda, who's a Red Bull junior, and then Mazepin, who's the pay driver, and Schumacher, who's the Ferrari junior protege. So it kind of they fill the kind of stereotype. They it feels like they fill the kind of stereotype for where there be holes in the grid, you know, open this year, that they've kind of filled that. So yeah, it's kind of my view on it. But yeah. Right, well, we will move on, as Freddie has intimated a couple of times, to talking about this weekend, the British Grand Prix, which, Freddie, you're going to, I think.
Yes, I will be there.
Where can people look out for you in the
sign autographs ready to all your fans.
Yeah.
I will be in the Beckett's grandstand, I think.
Oh, that's the big tall one.
Yes.
Scary.
It's all right. I'm okay with heights now. I used to be bad, but I'm okay with heights. And yes, I will also be camping. So if you see me camping, very rude of you to come and disturb me.
Yeah. Take photographs of him secretly and then send them to us at Nigel C Journal or at Adam Dickinson 01.
Yes,
that would be hilarious, actually, but it won't happen.
Or at Winging It F1 on Twitter. Yeah. All of those are our Twitters.
At Fred Coast 1999 as well.
Yeah, they're not going to send them to you. You're already in the photo.
What if they want to meet up with me? What if they want to be friends?
Oh, I'm just thinking of some of the fantastic photos from last time me and Freddie were out, but not going to go into that now. So what are you going to be dressing up as, like a orange or a banana or a Mercedes? Or
it's not a stag do. I might be.
This is cricket, and people go that dressed up. People go to F1.
Yeah,
dressed up as.
I don't know. I haven't packed, mate. I mean, I might just wear clothes in it. I've got.
I don't know.
I took that as red, really.
I've got a quadrant bucket hat that I'm going to wear, which I got at Goodwood, which I'll now wear at Silverstone, and will wreck everyone else in the fashion stakes until someone nicks it off my head. Because it's quite easy to do that with a bucket hat. It's gone. Just a little grab. It's like the claw thing you get in motorway service stations.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Imagine if they had that and then they just picked up fans as they went along all their hats. Traffic cones? People probably dress up as traffic cones. Anyway,
there was someone dressed up as a traffic cone at Goodwood, actually. Kept walking past him, like always walk past him.
Were they actually a traffic cone? Was there like function?
They were actually a stag do.
Was there function to, like, I don't know, like mark out the course the cars had to go around?
If they did, they were really annoying because they kept moving around.
But yeah, sprint races. What are both? Nigel, you can go first. What?
This will be pithy.
Take it away. What do you think of sprint races?
I do not like sprint races, and what is going to happen? One of 3 things will happen. either the sprint race itself will be really boring, or the main race itself will be really boring, or both races will be really boring. I am almost sure both races won't be exciting, because I just think the nature of it's gonna there's gonna be consequences which they haven't thought about. Things like, say, George Russell qualifies in 10th or something, but then he's gonna fall back to 17th or whatever in the sprint race, and then for Sunday he's gonna start there. So then he won't be able to hold on, and he's unlikely to score points. So that thing about qualifying performance versus race performance, it kind of hands it onto a plate or puts a lot more emphasis onto race performance. So then those standout things that we see in qualifying with Leclerc or Russell or whatever, or even at the front with Red Bull and Mercedes with different race pace and qualifying pace, I think it's going to be a bit of a procession, quite frankly. So my expectations are low, is my overall conclusion.
Just to play devil's advocate, like if you get one exciting race and one boring race, that feels like a bit of a win anyway. Just like, last season, bar the last few laps of the
yes,
British
but it's
Grand
much
Prix.
better to have an exciting qualifying and an exciting race.
I think qualifying will still be exciting.
Yes,
I think there is a fourth opportunity for it to be two exciting races, because at the end of the day, what it is just an extension to the race. And race performance will decide things, but race performance is always going to decide things. Like, you can't escape race performance by just doing by saying, oh, there's an extra 15 laps. Yeah, cool. There's an extra 15
remember,
laps. I know what you're saying, but
think about last year's British Grand Prix, the first 48 laps before Hamilton's puncher and all the punches.
Yeah, I know, exactly. You can have a boring race really boring. Wherever you are. That's the kind of thing.
Yeah, but I think that's what's going to happen again. I think that's what's going to happen again.
Oh, I think there's a room for optimism.
Is that the point? Like, if it does happen again, that's not necessarily the point of the sprint race. Then that's just like a boring.
I think it's naive to just think it's all going to be shit. Like you can't just say it's going to be like really bad with this kind of thing, because what is it? It's just a race that's a bit longer. That's kind of it. And it just gives more opportunity for things to even out. But we still get bonkers results in Formula One and that kind of thing. There's still opportunities in an ordinary length race for things to be an upset. So why, like, with
just don't see the point of it though.
15 laps more with a entirely different way of using tyres. So you can have a stint which you just entirely push on it, that kind of thing. You don't need to be preserving for tyre life to make the stint longer, that kind of stuff. There's so many different. There isn't a point to it.
They're not going to push.
There isn't a point to anything.
There's no point to F1 fundamentally.
Well, we don't know if they're going to push. That's the kind of thing. If someone goes on a soft tyre, maybe they won't push. If someone goes on a medium tyre, maybe they can just then push.
Everyone's going to start on the same tyres, I'm pretty sure.
But you're pretty sure. We don't know. There are variables. We may as well have optimism for it and just think about it.
These teams are clever, aren't they? They're going to work out the optimal strategy.
But we're not. We don't know anything about it. Well, they'll work out the optimal strategy, but then they still always do something different in the races. Like, someone will start hard tyre,
there's no pit stop, so there's nothing different you can do.
No, but that's the thing. There are things they can do, because there's still 3 different tyre options. You can even do like an F2 strategy if you want to. I'm sure you can. If you just do like really push hard and try and do an alternate, bring into a pit stop into it.
In the sprint race.
We don't know what it's going to be like.
No one's going to pit in the sprint race unless you crash or have a puncture.
Exactly. So it gives opportunities for different variables we've not seen in a way to set the grid. If someone has to crash or get a puncture, then they can come out later on and maybe do something different or interesting. Who knows? I mean, we don't know what they're going to do with safety cars or red flags and that, because it's so much shorter. A safety car is going to be way more impactful.
You're absolutely right. We don't know, but it's just what I think will happen.
Yeah, well, I think it's a bit. Don't count your eggs before they've hatched. That kind of thing.
I'll go in with an open mind, but I don't.
No, you're not.
No, I expect it to be boring. But I'm wrong.
I go into every F1 race kind of thinking this could be absolutely insane and it could be boring. And I think this is the same, because it's the same formula as a normal F1 race. So it still has the potential for all the chaos you get from a normal F1 race.
I don't think it is the same formula. I think it's completely different. I think it's going to be, the first 2 laps might be good, right? Yes, overtaking, but because of people being on the same tyres, you're not going to get that strategic elements, which I think F1 thrives on, as we've seen this year multiple times, especially in the pit stop phases. And then even if there is a bit of overtaking in the sprint race, we're not going to get that pace difference in the main race because everyone's going to be in order of what the pace is. And then it's going to be a bit pretty dull.
I think
they're always in the main order of their pace, really, though, aren't they?
No, because I think that qualifying and race difference. I mean, look at AlphaTauri, for instance. They usually qualify well, but then they're not so good in race or whatever.
But that's the thing. There's a whole different. They normally aren't so good in the race. Like look at Austria, for instance, because they had to start on soft tires. Didn't have that that freedom. There'll be a different level of freedom for the start of the races for those teams who are higher then.
But what I really like about it is that you get a free tyre choice on the Sunday on the main race. I think that's a massive, massive positive, and that could make the main race more exciting, I think.
I'll jump in.
Yeah.
Thank you. I hope drivers take risks. I think that's it. I hope they kind of do buy into it, because if they go into it with just the mentality of, oh well, I just want to defend whatever position I've got in from qualifying and just keep here, then it will be dull and it will kind of be a self-fulfilling prophecy. But I think especially if there's different weather for one of the sessions, at least one of the sessions, or we get drivers out of position in qualifying, and then having to mix that up. I think that could be a formula for some interesting racing, and I'm glad F1 are trying it. I think that's the thing. Like I'd rather see them try it, and then, like you said, Freddie, we can find out for certain. And and I think even if it is a dull race or an exciting race, not just viewing that in isolation. I think looking at how the dull or exciting race came about, and I think it's the right time to be experimenting, and you'll get to watch some more wheel-to-wheel action or more racing action rather than qualifying action or practice, actually, because that's the thing. It comes in for practice. That's kind of in terms of sessions what we're losing. So that's my view on it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm being too negative.
No, you can tell England lost. So the other thing I guess to talk about is this race a must win for Hamilton and Mercedes? I think it is.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, 5 races. They haven't won since the start of May, have they? The Spanish Grand Prix.
No,
that's nearly over 2 months ago. So
I think in Sheffield. Still have a lot of deadlines.
I think for momentum for the title race, I think they have to. And this is a track in the past, at least, that would have suited Mercedes down to the ground. I always said that about France. We'll do it faster, or maybe not. So I think, it's a must. It's a must win, because if he loses Hamilton, he's at least 39, if not more points behind. So,
yeah, it's that kind of thing. Like the potential for the gap to grow so much. Like you say, at least 39 points behind. It could be more. We don't know how Hamilton's going to perform or how Verstappen's going to perform. Like if Hamilton's in third, it becomes even more. And yet we won't have seen a points differential bigger than like 48 points or something since 2016. But that can be closed, and we know that can be closed. And but for the momentum of the season, it is a must win. And there are some upgrades that were in the pipeline that are going to be coming. But I mean, that seems to be the case for Red Bull all the time. They don't stop with upgrades, but they never have. So I don't really know. Yeah, because I do think there's so much time left, if need be, that a must win is a really hard thing to say. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, if he didn't win, say Verstappen won or Perez won, even, it would be 6 races in a row Red Bull have won. I'm just thinking, how long, when was the last time, say Hamilton, if he was to win the championship, when was the last time the championship winner won, having not won for 6 races, if that makes sense?
Well,
that must be quite a while. Like 80s, maybe.
2012.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But also, probably, you look at the swings in 2016, when it was Hamilton-Rosberg. Rosberg would have like 4 wins, then nothing for a bit, then 4 wins, nothing for a bit, and that seemed to be how it was for him. And there are momentum swings, and I think if there is a need to win, it's to bring a momentum swing towards Mercedes. But it's a weird time to bring a momentum swing, which is so close to the summer break. We've got Silverstone and Hungary, and then we're off until the end of August. So, like, in terms of momentum for a must win, it's the hardest one to actually build any momentum from, I'd say.
I'd
but
agree.
That's me trying to psychologically evaluate it, because Red Bull did have the better car in Austria, but like you said, Nigel, they were 1.5 laps off winning in France, so something can happen. Something can happen, and I think we're a bit negative on it. I think it'll be close this weekend. There's a lot of negativity around the Mercedes, and I think they will be faster and close to the Red Bull than they were in Austria. I do.
Come on, Mercedes.
Yeah.
Make both races exciting. Come on.
So, leading on from that, what are your predictions for pole, sprint race winner, and race winner?
Verstappen's going to win all 3.
I'm going to go. I don't know who's. Okay, I'll go. Hamilton, Verstappen, Hamilton.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Oh,
Lewis Hamilton to qualify on the first of the sprint race, and then so Verstappen to get official pole position after the sprint race, then Hamilton to win. Yeah.
Well, we shall see. Any other crazy or not so crazy predictions people want to? Actually, where are the other Brits going to finish in the main race?
George Russell's going to be 14th. Lando Norris is going to be 5th.
We'll go Russell 11th, Norris 3rd.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Norris 4th, Russell DNF.
Well, there we go. There's some completely arbitrary predictions there, which we will forget. But Freddie, you have a quiz for us. The first quiz for a while, and it is me versus Nigel. If you want to take it from me.
It's the Nigel Chu versus Adam Dickinson. Fight bout. Head to head, tete a tete.
I am Conor McGregor in this fight. I'm going to break my leg.
Tete a tete. I like that.
Tete a tete. It's the tete a tete of Adam and Nigel and Conor McGregor. Another theme tune has developed. Right. So the Silverstone seems to have got a little bit of a reputation on our podcast for me, from the quizzes being weird. So last year, before the British Grand Prix, Nigel did some weird word association thing as a way to shake up the format, and it was fun. The next time, Adam did it. Well, I do. The next week, Adam decided to quiz us on the 1950 season because it was the 70th anniversary Grand Prix.
I'd forgotten that.
So to give it a little bit of a flavour to it, I couldn't think of anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to celebrate the release of F1 2021, which is coming out to pre-orders tomorrow, and is of the recordings coming out this week, basically. So we're going to discuss the Formula One Codemasters F1 2021 driver ratings, and we're going to do
not do my driver ratings instead, please.
No, we're going to do a sort of higher or lower format where I'm going to say a number, and you're going to we're going to put a driver out there, and you're going to say if the official rating is higher or lower than that number. Do you think that works? I don't know. I'm coming up with this on the spot.
I like that. That's the best format I've had yet.
I do need to find a notebook so I can write this down.
Apart from when you two named every single world champion.
We did a very good job of that. That was very good. Right. I'm trying to find a notebook. The most impressive things I've seen this year on Zoom. The most impressive thing you've seen on Zoom? I saw Drag Bingo on Zoom. That was quite fun.
I can't remember if I've said this before, but on Zoom-sponsored part of the track, at least for the French Grand Prix, so some very witty person on Twitter took a screen grab of one of the Ferraris, might be Leclerc, going past all the logos that said Zoom, and put, they finally decided to use subtitles for F1, which I thought was very good.
It was picked up by every account in the world to make the same joke. Which is even Adam just made it now. Thief.
The Winging It F1 account.
Winging It F1. Here we are for the. I just dropped a water bottle. The Winging It F1 Codemasters Driver Racing Bonanza Extravaganza Tete-a-tete quiz. Right. So we're going to start at the very bottom. A very interesting place to start. Right. I'm going to give you a number for Nikita Mazepin's driver rating, and you're going to have to say if it's higher or lower. Adam, we're starting with you. Okay, the number we're going with is 65. Higher or lower?
Lower.
Nigel, higher or lower?
Higher.
Nigel wins the point. It was 67.
Yes, gets in. It's just that key knowledge in there, Just that them 9 races. It's pretty obvious that his rating is 67.
Yes, 67.
Oh, is it 67?
It is 67, but you said 65, and then I said yes, it's higher, so it's 67.
Yeah. I don't even know.
Going to go to his teammate Mick Schumacher. 67, higher or lower? Nigel,
higher.
You can go first.
Adam said higher.
You both get a point.
Oh,
76.
Really?
Yeah, he's that much higher than Nikita Mazepin. But that's mostly because
50 seconds ahead every race.
He has 83. He has 83 for pace.
Wow.
I know.
Have they got the same amount of experience racing?
Yes, they're both 47 experience.
Oh.
Wow. It's more experience than Mason Mount, anyway.
It's got quite a lot of experience.
He's done a lot.
He didn't use it much in the tournament.
Oh my goodness.
I like Mason.
Right, before Nigel spontaneously combusts, Nicholas Latifi.
I'll probably win the quiz.
Nicholas Latifi. Going to give you a number. We're going to say higher or lower. The number is going to be 74. Higher or lower? Adam, you're first.
Oh, can Nigel go first?
No, because Nigel went first for the last question.
It's 50-50 choice, mate. It's not that. It's not.
Yeah, no. Okay, Nigel. What do you think for it?
I think it's lower.
Okay, Adam.
I'll go higher.
Oh, Nigel gets the point again. It's lower. 71. Way lower than Mick Schumacher.
I think Schumacher
threw you off.
I
could see the cogs whirring but I think Latifi's better than Mick Schumacher, but this is a game.
Yeah, it wasn't that. It was so I thought they'd rate Latifi higher because he's
a second season
more. Yeah.
Yes.
I thought
whereas experience is 55, which is
logically wrong.
Well, his experience is more than Antonio Giovinazzi's, despite Antonio Giovinazzi having a whole full season more than him. But that's the arbitrary rating of these drivers which we're using in this quiz for fun.
Yeah.
Sticking with Williams, George Russell. Nigel, you're going first for this, by the way. And I'm going to say 86, higher or lower?
Oh. It's got to be lower. It's too high. Far too high.
Okay. Adam, 86, higher or lower?
I'll go lower as well.
Yes, you both get the point. What do you think it is? How much lower than 86?
5 lower.
81,
You think he's 81? He's 84.
All right.
Overrated.
Okay.
That's day one.
Saying that about. Okay, right. Now we're going to go on to Antonio Giovinazzi. We're going to say 73, higher or lower? Adam, you're first.
Higher.
I'll go higher as well.
Yes, it's way high. 79.
Yeah.
Nigel, you've not got one wrong yet.
Remarkable.
Nigel's on 5, Adam's on 3. We've still got 15 drivers to get through. But it's actually, it's going okay. Kimi Räikkönen. Now, this is one of those ones where you'll think, what? So we're going to go 86, higher or lower?
Higher.
Lower.
Oh, Nigel gets the point again. 87. He's got 99 experience.
But I just, you can't, like, I wouldn't put, I know it's arbitrary, I know it's a game, but like George Russell.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think, actually. I think Raikkonen is better than Russell.
You said he was distinctly average.
Forget the Mercedes seat, actually, thinking about it. Raikkonen and Hamilton.
Right, we're going to go to the 7th best team, which is in the constructors, which I think is Alpine. Is it? I think Alpine's 7th in the constructors this year.
They'll probably finish 7th, but yeah.
All right. Esteban Ocon, 83, higher or lower? Nigel, I want you to go first because I've lost all measure of whose turn it is.
I think that's lower, Ready.
Lower than 83. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go lower as well.
Oh, you're both wrong.
Oh,
86.
86. Higher than
Russell.
Wow.
Way better than Russell. He's one off
Nigel
world champion Kimi Raikkonen. 2007 world champion Esteban Ocon. That's a different history. Okay, so we're going to go to Esteban Ocon's teammate, who is 2-time world champion Fernando Alonso. Shithouser extraordinaire, Fernando Alonso, you could say. Right. 90. Higher or lower? Nigel, higher? Lower. Adam gets the point. His first win over Nigel. 89, Fernando Alonso.
Oh, it should be higher than 90.
So am I 2 behind Nigel now?
Yeah, 2 behind. It's 6-4 after 8 drivers. As we move on to...
lower than that.
Alpha Tauri.
We're
going to start with Yuki Tsunoda, and we're going to say 73, higher or lower?
Lower.
Lower from Adam. Nigel, higher or lower than 73?
I think lower. Yeah.
Lower? You're both wrong.
Really?
Both wrong. Do you want to guess how much higher than 73 he is?
2.
Okay. Do you think he's got 75? Nigel, what do you think?
Yeah, 75, yeah. I'd agree with that.
82.
Are you serious?
I am serious. He has 88 for racecraft.
Well, where's this game made? Is it made in Japan, is it?
It's made in Birmingham, mate.
Oh.
He's got 86
It's made down the road from where I am.
Yeah. There we go. Yuki Tsunoda. And I'm going to throw the next driver to you. Pierre Gasly.
Literally.
Pierre Gasly. Let's go 89, higher or lower?
Got to be lower.
Got to be lower.
I'll go higher.
Oh, Adam gets the point again. What do you think?
90 or 91?
90. He's a 90 driver. It's Pierre Gasly. And he has 59 experience, which is just so random. Like, George Russell's got 60 experience, but Pierre Gasly's done a season and a half more than him. But anyway, just to wind up this entire world. Aston Martin time now, guys. And we're going to start with Lance Stroll. We're going to go 84, higher or lower?
Lower.
Lower. You're both right.
83. Oh, God.
7-6. Sebastian Vettel. 90, higher or lower? Come on, you got to be quick. Higher from both. You're both wrong. 89.
All right.
Same as Alonso.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think, yeah. McLaren. Lando Norris. 89, higher or lower?
Lower.
Lower.
Yeah, I'll go lower.
Oh, you're both wrong again. 91.
Oh, this is stupid now. This. I've got a new.
Not 91 for Norris seems pretty fair, to be honest.
Daniel Ricciardo.
Yep.
89, higher or lower?
Lower.
Higher.
Oh, Adam gets the point.
No,
He's 90. He's 90.
God.
That's enough. 90. Should be more like 9.
Should be more like 9.
If you're judging it like, because this is a driver that you bring into your team, so it's McLaren that's ruined him, but that won't be an element of the driver.
Bring him into your team, and he's half a second behind your teammate.
Only if you're McLaren, though.
Okay, we've had 14 drivers.
Yep.
You've both got 7 points. We've got Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull to go. I'm going to go to Ferrari. Carlos Sainz, 89, higher or lower?
Lower.
Lower?
Yeah.
Point each, 87. Charles Leclerc, 89, higher or lower?
Higher.
Lower.
Adam? Oh! Whew. Adam takes the lead.
Yes, come on.
88.
That's ridiculous. He's below Vettel. Did they not watch the last few seasons at Ferrari?
Well, we've only got 2 teams left.
Yeah.
And they're going to start with Sergio Perez. 90, higher or lower?
Lower.
Correct, lower.
What is it?
It is 87. That's 10 points to Adam, 9 points to Nigel. 3 drivers to go. Valtteri Bottas. 90, higher or lower?
Higher.
Could this be for the game point?
Yeah, higher.
Oh, and you both get a point. 92. Okay, Nigel's on 10. Adam's on 11.
Yep.
As we go to Max Verstappen. 94, higher or lower?
Higher.
Lower.
For the championship, for the tete-a-tete, Adam Dickinson wins. 95, it was higher.
Woo!
If anyone wants to take a guess at Lewis Hamilton's figure?
100.
No.
99.
96.
No. Lower.
95.
Yes. Level with Max Verstappen, 95 and
fair.
95. Well then, Adam, 12 points to Nigel.
That was a good
Brilliant
quiz.
logic.
10 in the end. That's it, the quiz.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for listening, sitting through that. How did you do in the quiz guesses?
Yeah, I'm sure
probably better than us. But anyway, yeah. I hope you enjoy the British Grand Prix, and we will see you after the race to discuss whatever happened in it. And Nigel can be angry at sprint qualifying again. So see you then.
Bye, everybody.